Good morning and thanks for joining us for breakfast this morning. My name is Nyamgul Agaji. On the show this morning, we'll be looking at coalition only part to unseat Tinubu, and we'll follow that up with prospects of opposition parties as 2027 approaches. Those will be our top trending, our hot topics for today. We'll have top trending issues that we'll be discussing as well, and then we'll go to the newspapers to look at what the headlines for this morning are. They aren't that much, but the much that we have, we're going to make sense of it, and we're going to be joined by our guests this morning that will be x-raying these headlines. Let's go straight ahead to the top trending issues for this morning. A significant wave of defections has swept Nigeria's National Assembly, with at least 12 more senators and representatives joining President Tinubu's All Progressives Congress APC. This surge comes amid growing instability within opposition parties as lawmakers cite internal crises and factional disputes as motivations. These defections have further weakened the Labour Party, LP, and the People's Democratic Party, PDP, depleting their numbers and stifling their legislative influence in both chambers. Analysts warned that without reforms or a strong unifying vision, the opposition may struggle to remain relevant ahead of upcoming elections. The trend reflects a deeper issue in Nigerian politics, the lack of ideological commitment and rampant opportunism. Critics argue that many lawmakers are abandoning principles for personal gain or political survival, undermining democratic accountability and electoral mandates. This is really worrisome. We need to know in Nigeria what the Constitution really says. No matter the wordings of the Constitution, we may not understand this. Let the judiciary, let those relevant bodies tell us more about what the Constitution says about somebody leaving the party that they were elected. Yesterday, Roma was asking the question, is it the party that we elect or we elect the individuals? If it is the individuals, they can jump from tree branch to tree branch, it's not a problem. But if it is the party and a party fronts an individual and that individual leaves that party, then the party should have the right to take back their mandate and give to somebody else, if that is what it must be. But if that is not what the provisions of the Constitution are, then we should do something about it. Because right now, a lot of people who are jumping ship are making us understand that they know that the 2027 election will not be based on the people's choices. Because if it would be based on people's choice, you would be doing everything to make sure you get the people on your side and not jumping to the place that you are sure of winning election. These people are sure of winning elections in particular parties, not winning election because the people will decide. That is what they're telling us in small words. In fact, one of the governors who left the party that he was to the other party, before he did that, was saying something about, 2027 is coming, and if you don't join that party, you might not return. So it's not about the people. It's about parties that know how to do what they know how to do best. Like somebody was saying that the right result. So you're jumping to another party because you're sure that they will have the muscle, maybe the financial muscle to bribe the people, or maybe some other muscles, in quotes, to make sure that you win an election. Otherwise, people will not be running. If you are in the good books of the people who actually vote, then why are you running to a stronger party? Because you are supposed to be a strong personality that will make the people vote for you. So there is something really fundamentally wrong that we need to look at. So if it is a matter of going back to the Constitution and looking at what we can amend, let us do that. I know that the opposition, it will face a great opposition, because even the National Assembly members that know that this is their responsibility to do what they're supposed to do, know that it may not favor them. Because if they're judging by what they are doing, then it may not favor them. And this is a very sad reality that we're facing in Nigeria. Why would people be jumping from place to place? If you have ideologies, you will stay. And it's not as if Nigerians cannot do that. We've seen so many instances that has been done. We've seen in Cross River State someone resigned and said that he cannot follow the governor to another place where just because the ideologies, his principles do not align with where the governor is going. We've seen that in Akwa Ibom State as well. We've seen that in so many other places where people resigned because, not because they have bad blood between them, but because the principles do not align with where the state governor is taking them to, or his other people are going. They don't follow the bandwagon. So it's not a Nigerian thing, it is individual thing, and the individuals that do not have ideology and cannot stay and be principled enough to say, you know what, this is what we are supposed to do to change Nigeria, to make it better, cannot make it look like it is a Nigerian thing. It is there that do not have these principles. I just imagine if your family has problems and the best thing to do is to run away and just go and register in another family and say, oh, you know what, I am no longer a member of my family. I'm adopting this other family because I know that there is peace in this family. It's a very laughable thing. Why not stay in your family, see how you can correct the wrongs in your family, make your family stronger? But people don't see political parties as families that want to make an impact in this world and leave a legacy. They just want to jump to where they think it is strongest, join the winning team, and that is all. And as long as we continue that way and the people just accept what they do, then these things will continue until we get to a point where maybe we are pushed to the wall, and then the only solution will be that which we cannot even bear. I hope it never gets to that. We'll have sense, as it is, as we say in Nigeria. We also have the story that the Rivers State chapter of the APC, led by Tony Okocha, has demanded that Governor Siminalayi Fubara resign or be impeached within a tight deadline. They accuse him of flouting a Supreme Court decision and running a government lacking proper assembly representation. Okocha criticized Fubara's attempt to reconcile with the pro-Wike lawmakers, a gesture he called a great gift, as insincere and illegally based. He warned that failure to step down would force the APC aligning assembly to begin formal impeachment proceedings. The situation marks a significant escalation in Rivers' political crisis. With mounting legal and political pressure, the state is on edge as potential impeachment looms and efforts at peace appear overshadowed by deep mistrust and confrontation. So this is an APC person warning the PDP governor that he's going to use the supposed PDP assembly members to impeach him, because they are it's just about 1 month or so to the end of the state of emergency in River State, and the River State governor seems to be doing everything to reconcile with those people who are aggrieved, and the APC chieftain is talking tough and very confident that he can use the APC aligning House of Assembly members. Aligning is the word he used, because they have denied that these people have not moved to the APC, but they're doing the bidding of the APC and all that. It's just like their master, the FCT minister, is also talking about, is having meetings of the PDP and saying the PDP should zone the presidential slot to the south in 2027, and also saying that he's going to be the one at the vanguard of campaigning for President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, who is in APC. So I don't know how to reconcile that. You're saying you're going to be campaigning for someone who is in the APC, and then you're telling your party, your supposed party, the PDP, to zone the presidential slot to the south. For who to campaign for? If you and your people are campaigning for someone else, why are you even still talking in PDP? Why are you even suggesting anything in PDP? So it's very funny what people can do in our country and just go scot-free. If it's any other person, he would have been removed from the PDP. The things they call anti-party are nothing close to what the FCT minister is doing, but it seems their hands are tied. And what is it that is tying their hands? Too much money, or something else that is more than meets the eye? Well, we will find out one day, because like we say in Nigeria, it go cast. Someday it go cast. All right. So we hope that the opposition will put their houses in order and not allow external influences, because it seems as if that's what is happening. Just go cause crisis somewhere, remove the people that are relevant in that party, put in our own party, and let the other party be empty. But like an interview I watched, one of the former chieftains of the Labour Party, Kenneth Okonkwo, was saying, he said that while the politicians are defecting, the people who are the voters are not defecting to anywhere. They know what they want. So if everything is put in place before 2027, there might be a real shake-up that people will not believe could happen. Now, Nigeria's power sector is struggling with a 4 trillion naira debt crisis owed to electricity generation and distribution companies. The massive debt includes government subsidies, unpaid services, and legacy obligations, creating financial instability across the sector. Experts blame the problem on 2013 privatization process, which transferred power assets to private investors lacking the funds and expertise to manage them effectively. This has led to poor service delivery, inefficiencies, and mounting financial losses. Calls for reform are growing, with suggestions to recapitalize power companies, adjust electricity tariffs to reflect true cost, and revisit the privatization strategy to ensure long-term stability and improved performance. Okay, so like they say, we might be pouring a new wine into old skins, and it may not be a good thing. So if this privatization process was done haphazardly, not really haphazardly in the fact that the books did not carry what it should carry, but it means that the people who were given this responsibility, who had this mandate, who were able to win these contracts, or however you want to put it, were not, we did not have the expertise enough to do what they were supposed to do. And so these things went to their hands. And nobody's talking about removing these things from their hands and giving to the people who can run that sector. You're still talking about paying debts, and you're not talking about removing it. I know that when a contractor is given a road, for instance, and is given a target, you finish this road at this XYZ time, and then you don't do it, then the person who gave you the contract has the right to revoke that contract and give it to someone else. And sometimes it leads to persecution, it leads to prosecution rather, and then some people have to go in for it. So why are we not talking about, we shouldn't be talking about reversing privatization, we should be talking about removing it from the hands of those who have made that sector not to work and giving it to professionals, people who one, have the money to run the sector, and two, have the expertise to run the sector. Not just political cronies, not just our friends, that because that is what it seems to be. Somebody who is close to the government has the opportunity to get something that he doesn't even have the know-how to run, and that is what is happening in that sector. So if we need a revamp in that sector, I would suggest remove it from the hands of the people that are known not to have this expertise and not to have the financial muscle to run that. Privatization has been done in this country, and it worked. At least in the telecom sector, we know that it has worked. Even though now they're killing us with their tariffs and all that, but we know that it's working. If you recharge your phone, you can make calls. It is left for you to decide whether to recharge or not to recharge. In this case of Nigeria, of the power sector, even the Band A people are having problems. Sometimes you do not have power and no information comes to you. I was expecting that if you are paying that humongous amount of money to get electricity, if there is going to be a blink, you would be informed, so that you know that everything you're storing in your freezer, you shouldn't do it for this week because there may not be power. Anything you're doing that you will need power, you should not do it. Some people said, okay, they were in Band A, they did not need power stabilizers or UPS or anything because they were sure of a particular amount of power per day, maybe 18 hours or 20 hours per day. But I tell you, it doesn't happen that way, at least in the places that I've been to. You can have power go off like 20 times in a day. It may not be long. It may go off for 1 minute or 2 minutes or 3 minutes, but it has still gone off, and then it will come back immediately. It will be like, okay, nothing happened and all that. But that's enough to spoil your appliances, to do havoc to you, to cause a spark here and there, cause a surge here and there, and people are suffering for it. So what are you telling us? If you are going to give us electricity, one, be responsible to us. Tell us when there would be no power so that we know how to plan ourselves. And if you're telling us that in a day you're going to be giving us power till 10 p.m. and that you take it away, we will know what to do with ourselves, what to buy and keep in our houses, what to put in our, what and when to put something in our freezers and all that. So inform us. The power sector is suffering. When this debt is paid, the 4 trillion naira is paid, there is no assurance that the power will improve in the coming days. But let's see how it is. We should be talking about a total revamp. But if we're not talking about that right now, I wonder what we should be talking about, or what we are talking about, whether it will make any impact in that sector. Now let's see if we can take one more. Jesutega Onokpasa, a well-known APC chieftain, lawyer and political commentator, died on Monday, June 9, 2025. His passing was confirmed on Tuesday by Okezie attorney, a pro-APC advocate, stating that the lost barrister Jesutega Onokpasa said on the APC Publicity Committee and was a member of the Presidential Campaign Council during the 2023 elections. He rose to national prominence defending President Tinubu's administration in media. In later months, he broke ranks, criticizing the government's handling of key issues. Tributes poured in from across Nigeria, with the Renewed Hope UK group calling his death a profound loss to the Nigerian political and legal landscape. Onokpasa is survived by his wife and children. First of all, may his soul rest in peace. And I'm very glad that before the end of his life, he spoke out his truth. He spoke truth to power. Like the report says, he was against some of the policies that he felt were not good enough and how the government was handling matters. So he was not just a party member, he was a loyal party member with ideas, a loyal party member who wanted the party to stick to the manuscript, to stick to the promises that they made to the people. So when the government, according to what he felt, derailed, he spoke out. So at least we will remember him for that. When the present administration was about to come into power, he had confidence that they were going to do well, and he went all out to make sure that they succeeded. Now that he felt that at some point they were not doing the right thing, he spoke out. So which means he had always been a man of his words. He has always been a man who was not afraid to do what he needed to do, no matter whose feet he was stepping on, and we'll remember him for that. So may his soul rest in peace, and we hope that the family can bear the loss. That's all we can take from top trending issues this morning. We'll take a short break. When we return, we'll be looking at the papers. Stay with us.